Yes, 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 yes. It's me again. This beautiful day down in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. And today is a beautiful day, Day of the Lord. Lighting movers and shakers in tech. And today we're blessed to have one amazing person, an epitome in AI and machine learning. I don't know what I should start with, but I think the man can speak for himself. But ideally we have Kalebu. I think most of the tech ecosystem knows Kalebu. And if you don't know him, actually he walks in the room, you can't miss him. How are you, Kalebu?
All is well.
Mm-hmm.
So sound like I'm listening to a radio. Yeah.
Yeah?
So you're actually DJ, I see.
Yeah, that's nice, that's nice. So what's your full name, Kalebu?
Oh, my full name name is Kalebu Jordan Gwalugano.
Gwalugano.
Yeah.
Very nice. So Kaleb, as we try to introduce ourselves. We believe a man should give his epitome of step-by-step chronologically account of who he is. Who are you, Kalebu? From day zero.
For me, who I am an explorer, Yeah. So I like exploring stuff.
Yeah.
And then when I explore, I get so obsessed with it. Yeah. So right now, what I'm obsessed with is AI. So, so I'm an AI enthusiast. I'm building AI solution. But also I'm also advocating for people to adopt AI solutions. So I'm kind of somewhere that I'm kind of exploring the AI phase.
Yeah. So Kalebu.
Yes.
let me just introduce you officially, and then you can tell us, where it all started, right? So once upon a time, and this is Kaleb speaking, he was a mechatronics engineer, but his passion for innovation and technology led him down a new path. He discovered the world of programming, and it was love at first sight. He spent countless hours watching tutorials, reading books and blogs, and building projects. His hand paid off as he solidified his understanding and even had to the opportunity to showcase his projects, including an AI tool that connects people without internet access to the internet through SMS, and a device that allows farmers to easily monitor and control conditions on their farm using SMS. As he continued to hone his skills, he found out himself working as a professional Python developer and machine learning engineer. He is also an advocate of open source software, maintaining over 8 open source Python packages and sharing his knowledge with others through speaking engagements and writing articles and tutorials. He is currently the founder of Neurotech, an African startup that is building infrastructure for developers to easily build industry-ready natural language processing solutions for African languages. His passion for innovation and technology led him to fulfilling career, and excited to share his journey with community across any digital footprints. So, Kalebu, that's your professional one. That's at least done.
Yeah.
So, who is Kalebu? Where did all this start? Where do you come from around in Dar es Salaam?
No, I'm not from there.
You're not from there?
Yeah, I'm from up country.
Up country, which side?
Yeah. So I'm from Mbea.
Mbea.
And not just Mbea. I'm from some part of Mbea called Tukuyu.
Tukuyu.
And then not just Tukuyu, in up country. So I'm from really up country area. That's where I grew up.
Oh.
Yeah.
It doesn't get up country as Tukuyu. There's more up country.
There's more up country. So Tukuyu is town, and you go more up country. And then you go where I spend most of my childhood here.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the name of that place? Mabuli.
Yeah.
That sounds interior.
Yeah.
So how many hours from there? If you're driving,
No, if you're driving like 14 hours from that. Yeah.
But is there another option? Like, can you take a train, a flight?
Like there's a train. I don't know if a train. I never took a train, but like a flight is about 1 hour.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh. So there's a flight to.
Yeah, there's a
Mbea.
flight. There's like an airport there.
Yeah. So you were born there, grew up there.
Yeah. So I was born in Mbea. I studied in Mbea from primary to college. Yeah.
How was that? How was that experience? Did you get everything there? Did you feel like you're missing out?
No, I mean, not so much. I liked studying near home. So that was quite like any day if I want to get out of school and go home, I can go. That's what I like. So it wasn't much like I was missing out. Maybe later when I'm thinking of pursuing like a tech career. That's when I saw, okay, maybe Mbea might not be a suitable place for me to continue my journey. But apart from that, Mbea is quite good. The weather, I liked it. It was cold, but I don't like hot. But now I do,
Yeah. So you studied at Mpanda Panda
primary school.
Primary school.
Yeah.
From Chekechea to.
No, not really. Not. I moved a bit in school.
Okay.
So I was studying somewhere called Katumba Primary School.
Yeah.
And then I went to Mpanda Panda, I think on Standard 2. And then, up to like 7. Yeah, Mpanda Panda Primary School.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what caused this movement? Like, why did you move from one school to the other one?
Parents,
Parents, okay.
Yeah, so parent moved, and then I had to follow study my dad.
Yeah,
to follow my dad. And then so that's why I moved from one place to another. It was the parent moved, and then I had to move. Yeah.
Okay. So after Mpanda Panda, you went to Iunga. Iunga, is it a secondary school, right? Like a high school, right?
Yeah. But it wasn't as straight, In LinkedIn, I tried to strip some of the stuff.
Yes. Okay. Please
you don't have to put a whole story for people to Yeah. So basically, Iunga is if you graduate from Science 7, you go, there's those like lower school, maybe like school maybe from I don't know what they call it. There's a school like I don't find a good name, but Iunga was like a middle school, and there's like top school, like maybe for very like talented students. So I wasn't selected to Iunga Secondary School. Yeah, I wasn't like very smart to be selected to Iunga school. I went to another school from like the same Tukuyu like area. Yeah, and then I moved to Iunga because of my parents. Yeah. Yeah.
So you said you're not that smart.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
To tell you a story.
You wasn't, but now you are. Okay.
Maybe I am, because when I was in standard 6, I was one among the students that the head of school chose to repeat the class.
Okay.
Yeah, and then not standard 6, standard 7 actually.
Standard 7.
Yeah, I was like, okay, the head of school come and like, you gonna repeat class, and then you're gonna repeat class, and then he forgot me. I begin to celebrate, and then he like, oh, Kaleb, you too. So that was very painful.
Yeah.
And then my mother was a teacher in a nearby school.
Okay.
And then he's like, okay, maybe I can talk to the head of school. Maybe he can give you some time to
catch up.
To catch up. And that was my lucky. That was my only lucky for not
repeating.
And then from that on, that's when I begin like to pay attention to school. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So were you playful when you were a kid, or?
Very playful.
Okay.
Yeah, like crazy.
And troublemaker.
Troublemaker, like 100%.
I don't want to say right now you don't look like a troublemaker, but most smart guys are always, troublemaker. For some reason, I don't know. They never settle.
I'm not a cool kid.
Yeah. What does cool kid mean in Tanzania?
Cool is the opposite of troublemaker. You don't like
any trouble. Yeah. When you say cool kid in Nairobi, that means you rich kid.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Yeah. So from class 7, you were serious at the school, you got good marks, and then you went to the technical university?
No, I didn't get good marks enough. But I remember my head of school, after realizing I began to excel in class.
Yeah.
Because I went from, I don't know, whatever position to number 9 in class. It was like, Kaleb, you should hunt for like special school. You gotta study hard.
Yeah.
And I did my best, but I wasn't like, I was not able to go to the special school. Do
you feel like you concentrated when it's a bit late?
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit late actually, maybe. Because I don't know what I was studying from 1 to 6. I don't know what I did. I realized I was in school when I was 7 now. You get repeat class. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe if I studied earlier, maybe I would go to a special school. But, it's all like, yes, I'm a stoic now.
Oh.
So maybe it was all like that. It was supposed to be like that, maybe catch up late and then go to technical school by another way, Yeah.
So what happened then? Now that you didn't go to the good school, was that a bit discouraging for you?
Yeah, it was. I remember going to like the selection of classes, and then I'm thinking maybe I went to one of the special school. I'm like looking at Kaleb, where is the school? This school, there's no Kaleb. And then I'm finishing all the school, there's no Kaleb. It was very sad. And people keep like, Kaleb, you got a good marks.
Yeah.
But why are you so sad? I'm like, dude, I wanted to go to the special school, but I wasn't. Yeah.
So special is like top schools in Tanzania.
So there's special school and there's technical school. Technical school like the middle school. Like they've done very special, but they're like at least you're medium smart. So you go to technical school, and then if you are like
really smart, you go to the special
school. And I wasn't even hunting for special school. Somewhere even a medium.
And you're not there.
And I was not there. Yeah.
So you were just taken to a technical school.
No, it wasn't as easy. It was like my dad studied in the technical school.
Okay.
So my dad was very smart.
Okay.
So he went to the younger school when in his age, back in the days. So he was like, okay, maybe I could go there and
try to
make an excuse, and then maybe the parent moving out, and then you can get you there. Like, yeah.
So someone who doesn't report, they replace him with you.
Yeah, so something like that. So my dad began a formal process, like from like district to whatever, putting a reta, like maybe my parent is going to study somewhere, and then maybe so how they move. If you're too straight, you can never get a chance. So it was something like that, and then I was able to get a chance. They said, okay, maybe you have good marks, but maybe not as excellent, but the marks was not that bad. So it's okay, maybe let's take you to So that's how I got to technical school. Yeah.
Oh, nice. And when you get there, you meet other, smart kids, right?
You meet other very, like smart kid went there by Max.
Oh,
yeah,
real
terrifying.
Smart. So how was that experience for you?
I mean, in the beginning, I was actually, you got out from a place where you're like one of the top people, and you go to other very smart people, and then you like in early days, you're like, okay, maybe let me. You think you still can catch up to that smart level, but after maybe 2 semesters, you realize, no.
I have to work harder than this.
Yeah. Maybe let me have another goal that just being
top student.
So
that's why you started exploring your career, or
I mean, still I was up to Form 2. I think I was still in AD, love to study. But my first, maybe Form 1, it was very disappointing. I was 64 student, so 64 students.
Position 64?
Yeah,
64?
Position 64.
Out of?
I don't know, maybe 100 or 100 and something. Yeah,
okay.
So it wasn't very from one of the top people in the class to now 64. Is it that good? Yeah.
So realize being smart also can be average some other place.
Yeah. Okay. You go some other place, you're just a normal person, Yeah. So I begin taking school, okay, not maybe I should take it easy now, not that. Yeah. So I remember I'm going to Form 3, and then I was like, okay, I wasn't very serious with class, but that's where I began to excel in class even. Yeah. So I remember Form 3, I began, top 5. So I began to excel because, I was, and then, so that's what happened. But I remember that there's, I don't know if I don't study hard sometimes in my secondary school, that's when I excel. But whenever I'm too serious, that wasn't happening,
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So you stopped focusing, becoming a bookwormer.
And that just normal. Yeah, studying
enough.
Enough. But that's when maybe the brain just needed a little more rest than just accumulating stuff on the head. Yeah, that's when I realized, okay, maybe I need some more time to do other things.
Oh, that's interesting. So, and you discovered that in Form 2, right?
Yeah, in Form 3. In Form 2, up to Form 2, I wasn't that much of the top class in the student. I'm just someone in a class,
Okay, average kid. Yeah. So you started now, taking it easy. And what was this that you're doing on the side? Is it just games or?
Oh, no. I remember Form 3. That's where so there's something in Tanzania called Young Scientist Competition. So they go to school, they look at kids which have innovative ideas and okay, we're gonna take you to Dar with other kids with idea, and then you're gonna compete for a prize. And this prize can give you a scholarship to go abroad. Yeah, so it was very tempting.
Started.
So I began thinking of it. Maybe I could get into this program. So just before that happening, another something came up. It's called Science Fair Project. So it was done regional-wise, and then there's a national competition. So they come to school. There's like, okay, what is your idea? And then you pitch, and then if you win in your school, they take you regional-wise now to compete.
Okay.
Yeah. So I remember I was not an innovator. I was just a bookworm,
Yeah.
So, but I wanted that scholarship stuff and innovating stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a fan of sci-fi, but not to the stage that it turns me to an innovator,
Okay.
So it's just I love that stuff of building stuff and doing stuff, but not to the stage now, like of me getting hands-on to it.
Yeah.
But I remember now when that Fair Science project came about, I was very I liked it a lot. And then I went to like a library, took Wikipedia, maybe I can find something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you started now becoming curious on what can
I do? What can
understanding
I do?
science,
Yeah,
right?
understanding science. Not science to this, like practical science of like coming up with an innovation now. Yeah. So it was not much on engineering. Back in the days, I was very good chemist. Yeah, I was like, I want to be a chemical engineer, because I was very good at chemistry. And then the idea came with the science fair project. Was something like called I don't know, I forgot even the name. It's quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
But something like multi-producer stuff. It was more of like chemical stuff. Yeah.
Which year was this?
I think I don't know if 2015. I don't know. Yeah, 2015. I think.
Yeah. Is that long time ago?
It's not. Now it looks like long time ago.
Yeah. You're the second person in who I've talked to, and they refer to like 5-6 years ago or 8 years ago as a long time ago.
So 2015 is 8 years ago, right?
Yeah, 8 years ago, just 6 years ago.
It's quite a year because you've gone through phases from secondary to college to street. So if you take that time of experience, like 10 years ago,
it's kind of crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, if you think about that journey where now you think like, okay, there's this science contest where you gonna compete and go abroad, and even for you coming to die something, something exciting.
I've never been to die at that time. Just Mbea.
Yeah. And then you start even going to the library, checking out an encyclopedia, trying to learn science and whatnot. Do you think guys right now in the school are getting that opportunity, or?
I think they do, because I think young scientists keep existing. But mine, which triggered my innovation, was not young scientists, but it was called the Science Fair Project. I'm not sure if it exists, but right now there's young scientists. There's Makisatu. So Makisatu, they do like competition from secondary to primary to university level. You bring an innovation and then they compete you against the people. So I think they do. So and then right now I think they're realizing even I think the curriculum is changing. So maybe. Not too much because it was about more like, okay, getting grades, but now they're trying to, maybe put more practical and more teach people to do stuff better than just cram stuff.
And for you such activities, from your experience, is what actually started exposing you to the tech and what is happening in the world of science, right?
100%. Because from chemical design, I remember I keep participating in competition. I keep designing. I was writing papers. I was writing stuff. I went to it. So they said, if I get obsessed with something, I'm full into it. So I became a nerdy now. I remember our biology teacher gave us a biology lab. So I had a key. Anytime there is chemicals, there is copper, there is whatever in a library, I could whatever I want. And then around when I'm on form 4 grade, I begin to get interested with engineering now, because all the previous form 3, that was mainly chemical engineering, chemical stuff. But form 4, that's where engineering captured my heart, gears and stuff, and then which even led me to choose mechatronics as a college because of form 4 now. But still the same, like kind of trying to create something creative.
Now you at this point, I think, is your turning moment, given to what you are doing right now. And for you now, it's even changed from being the top student to, can I understand the subject matter of what is happening in the engineering world, right? How did this change perspective on how you look at things?
Are you talking about back, like, can you rephrase well your question, so if I understand well?
Yeah. So you said at this point you're not struggling to be number one or top student, right? it was more like you're fascinated by science.
Correct.
And for you see more opportunity of even going to town, competing at a regional level, country level to international level. How did this change perspective of how you look at now? You're in school, I'm going to class, there is a teacher teaching something, there will be an exam, but of course, do I want to understand the subject matter?
Yeah, so I think it quite changed because I didn't look at the class the same. So I was always, my chemistry teacher is teaching, I'm always looking, okay, what can I do? What can I put this? Can I add this to that design and then it can react, whatever. So I think even my class begin to be more like a lab for me, like I draw into imagination of what teachers are teaching, but not every class, Yeah, but and then my future began to change. Like the way I look at the future, begin to change because before I was thinking maybe I'm gonna be a neuroscientist doing. But now I begin thinking my future as a scientist. So that's why it completely changed flipped the career future I was imagining from a career that I wanna be a doctor, I wanna be this, and to do that you need just to study, get A to get that career.
Yeah.
But it taught me okay, no, it's not that far ahead. If you wanna be that, you're gonna start doing this from while you're here, and what can you do now? So I think it made me more it made some classes a lot of funny, and other classes more boring.
I know what you mean. Yeah. So at this point, do you get good grades to go to university or?
No. So I didn't want to go. So the normal way is you don't go to university.
Okay.
The normal way that you go to advanced school, and then you go to
which was previously Form 5, Form 6.
Form 5, Form 6.
Okay.
But for me, no. From that moment, I saw myself. I began to diverge a bit from class, and then I know if now I'm going to just focus on Chandi stuff or advanced or PCM, PCB, it won't work well for me. Yeah. So that's why now I begin. Okay, maybe I can take an alternative route instead of going to advanced school. I can go direct into college. Yeah. So that's beginning invading into my mind, and as I do research, I found there's a course called mechatronics engineering. There's synerging computer and mechanical. That's where So I was let me get some good marks to take me to university. Perhaps it was not quite easy,
Going to university is not easy, of course.
The harder part was not the marks. The harder part was in my family. I'm the firstborn.
Okay.
I have 3 sisters. The first one went to advanced school. Second went to advanced school. The third one went to advanced school. And then now telling that idea to parents, okay, I don't want to go to advanced. And then while you still get good grades, you get Division 1, but it's okay, I don't want to go to university. They don't get it. They're okay, this kid is confused.
Did you get Division 1?
Yeah, I did.
Which should be ideally take you to the university.
Yeah, I had A in biology. Yeah.
So, but you didn't want to go to the university?
I didn't. To advanced school. I didn't want to go to advanced school.
What is this advanced school?
Form 5 and Form 6. I didn't want to go to that class. But because I saw okay, it doesn't
doesn't add any value.
Yeah, I saw because there's this thing in TZ. If you go to advanced, the chance of going to study what you want is actually dependent on the marks that you score on the final marks. So I didn't want to take that roll of dice that what my future is uncertain. So whatever I'm going to score in my whatever PCM or PCB is going to determine my entire future. Well, I can say I can go to mechatronics and then here's my future and grow with it. So I didn't want to play dice. I said, okay, here's what I want, and I know for sure this is what I want. I'll go for it.
Yeah. So you just went to mechatronics.
And then it was. So I did in selection in Form 4, you select advanced or college.
Okay.
So they automatically selected me into college. I was not selected into an advanced school, so I was very happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you joined college where you're doing mechatronics.
Correct.
Did you find other more smarter kids than you?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Always. First day.
You realize now even you're not smarter anymore.
Yeah, it was not about smarter now. Yeah. So my obsession now it's not about who was smarter. So if I find smart people, I want to learn from them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I remember. So right before college, that's when you see now I'm more into code. But the journey was not before going to college. I began doing the code adventure. So the way I judged smart when I got to college was not by the marks you score. It was like, what do you know?
Yeah, for sure. And at this point, you realize, man, I need to learn more stuff to just. But before even that, what actually is the grading system in mechatronic college look like? Is it the marks anymore, or is it the experiments? Is it the projects that you build?
It depends. So
is it a combination?
It's a combination.
Yeah. So you do a lot of projects there.
Not a lot. It's not even like it's not a lot of projects. Maybe final year, but it's more like practical exam.
Yeah.
I
see.
Yeah.
I see. So there is more practical exam whereby you build a project, or how does it look like?
Building a project is usually on a final year.
So. So in this case, if you're doing a practical project whereby it's not like a project,
okay,
it's more like an experiment that you do in a lab, right?
I mean, we did a lot of that because mechatronics is broad, so it's more like lecturer guiding us. This is how you do. Sometimes if you're interested enough, you can approach the lecture like, okay, can I have some more time to use the lab? Some people did that.
And what would you be doing in this lab is not a project. What is in this lab? Is it an engine? Is it the gears? Is it?
Because in our college we had a mechanical workshop where we saw a lot of like machines, from like bending machine into whatever, all mechanical machine. I even forgot the name,
It's quite some time. Did this help you now visualize most of the learnings that you've been doing since primary school and sciences and all that?
No. So before just going to college, I began Googling a lot on YouTube. What is mechatronics? And what do mechatronics do? So when I'm going to college, I had very high expectation.
And so you got disappointed, or you sound
I was disappointed. Because what I was seeing on online and people doing mechatronics in the industry. There's people on white coat, putting this chip and turning on a robot. That was my fantasy going to college. Like, this is what I'm gonna do. Build
sci-fi movie.
Not sci-fi per se. It was more like industrial. It was. I didn't say it wasn't that good, like in teaching, but I'm saying my expectation was way high than college.
Okay. Did this discourage you, or how did you navigate the two? Is it 2 years college or 3 years?
Three.
So how did you because this is now maybe first year, second year?
Yeah.
How did you navigate this now that your expectations are not met?
I mean, so from the day before I went to college, I began to be fascinated with code, like programming. So even from like first year to second year to third, my whole concentration was coding. Like building software, like learning to the art.
Wait a minute. In this mechatronic, did you start first year by coding, or it's something that
I started coding way before first year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who introduced you to coding? Or how did you get about that?
So the reason there was my friend that went to US because of coding. And this my friend, I knew them, like I know them, like I can touch them, They went to US.
You're so tight with them, yeah.
But so one of the reasons they went to US was like they knew how to code. And that was inspired me now. Okay, let me learn this craft. Maybe it may take me to some place someday.
Yes.
So I remember going to my brother, and my brother was like my cousin was studying at Mbea University. So I'm like, give me a tutorial to code. Give me where do I start? They give me like a bunch of C++ tutorial. Give me a Dev C++, like an AD for coding C. And then I went home to like find myself, okay, how do I start to code? So when I'm going now to college, I had a bit of an idea on what coding looked like, what is C programming. So from there, like I wasn't much into classes. I'm like class so that I don't fail. But I was more into like all the time on Wi-Fi, getting tutorials, downloading tutorials as much as I can, coding, learning to code, building sample projects, something like that. So it went from like first year to to final year, my concentration was not on college per se. Yeah.
So, which language did you start coding with?
I started C, and then I went to C++. Until I think second year. That's why I got into Python here. Yeah.
And this was not taught in your course, right?
C was taught in second semester first year. Yeah, so we did a lot of C. In second year we did C++. So because mechatronics, the way it works is that you're doing like hardware controlling. So hardware, C and C++ are very powerful for embedded programming. So that's why you got to learn C as a mechatronics engineer. So we did some classes on programming here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at this point, you realize that coding is fun.
Yeah, I mean, I liked coding. Yeah. So a bit of a story. I remember just when I was doing, before going to college, I wrote a paper called Beyond the Archimedes Principle, where I was challenging the Archimedes Principle. So, I wrote formulas, I wrote whatever. Like I came to die, I went to Costech, the Commission for Science and Technology. I'm like, okay, here's my paper I did, and can you look at it? And yeah, so, but short story, I had not just one paper, I had papers called free dynamics, energy. I had a lot of papers. Yeah, so my holiday from Form 4 to college was very
writing
fruitful.
Papers.
Yeah, writing papers. But those papers never touched the light of the day.
Yeah.
And that discouraged me. Like, maybe these papers, you need someone to push you to take you somewhere.
Yeah.
But something is code that I only needed a computer, and then I could take an idea and still create something that is useful.
Yeah.
So that made me like full obsessed with code, and then like, okay, hey physics, I love you so much, but take a break. With software, I only need a laptop, and then I can take something
and internet,
and the internet, and I can build something that it could impact the world. You know, like
yeah. And it's good you realize that on your own, because also that's one thing that I believe that can change a lot of things for many people across the board. Anything else I look at, there's so much time needed, resources, as well as education acumen, right? But for code, you just need a laptop and internet, as you said, and just curiosity. If you're curious enough, you can get to build anything and learn anything, because now even most of the content is available online. But it's not as straightforward as people think.
It's not.
Yeah.
The only thing you need is just don't stop. Like every day, you just learn something new. Yeah, because there are going to be moments where you like,
you don't feel like learning,
because sometimes beginner is kind of hard, and then you go into learning. You think you're the smartest in the world, and then you go like, okay, no, not yet.
There are more smarter people.
Yeah, so I think in the very beginning, sometimes you need to intentionally know, okay, interested in it. So if you're intentionally interested in it, I think that's all you need. Learn something, it doesn't work. Take your break, get back later, it works.
Yeah. And what was the biggest challenge that you faced when you're learning some of these, coding skills and what you can build with code?
Okay.
Yeah.
So back in the days, I had zero exposure to other ecosystem. All I knew was me. There's my friend called Daniel who taught me a lot of C++.
Daniel who?
Daniel Mkongo.
Mkongo.
Yeah, he's now taking mechatronics bachelor in our ATC.
Okay.
But he taught me a lot of code, like C++ and stuff like that. So I wasn't very much exposed to outer ecosystem, and also it limited what I can. Like I didn't have like a good roadmap. So sometimes you just find yourself going to class Z, A to Z. Sometimes it's like, okay, you don't get it because you're jumping to a very high abstract concept. So I think maybe a roadmap like Kaleb, maybe learn from this to this would help very much.
Yeah.
So that was like zero guidance.
Yeah.
So it was like a lot of try and error.
Yeah. So we would advise someone who is trying to learn this concept at this point. They just take some time and be patient with themselves.
Yeah, but for now, I think you don't like get somebody at least to show you the roadmap. Like, not somebody if like, okay, asking Kaleb, teach me. No. I won't teach you, but I'll give you a course and I'll give you like resources to where to go if you're stuck. So I didn't have that somebody, so it was like more me learning through the hard way. Yeah.
Interesting. And now that this learning was it was self-taught. Besides, doing mechatronics, but of course you could find somewhere where these two are meeting. And I know with mechatronics, if it's a blended system, you need some PCB, some gadgets
correct.
Some semiconductor to program. Did you get these in plenty at the college?
Yeah, in plenty. They're like I think remember from first year I began implementing my first robot with like hand robot could grab something, and it was very
a physical robot or just simulated robot?
It was a hand robot.
Okay.
But basically, I didn't create the hands. Somebody gave me the hands. I just programmed it.
Just programmed it. Okay, interesting. Yeah, because I remember last time I saw, actually when we programmed a robot, it was on Java, simulator Eclipse.
Yeah. And
you could see, it's moved left, right. So if you connect that and actually it will move that way because it's just simulating what you could see.
So I did a lot of those hardware stuff. Yeah. So in my first year to third year, I was still a believer of mechatronics.
Yeah.
But I wasn't a believer of like it could through the normal way of going to class and listening to lecturers that I can tend where I want to go. But like, okay, let me just go through my self-adventure. Let me go buy Arduino and begin programming Arduino and buy sensors and actuators. I believed, okay, if I could teach myself how to control all of this hardware, I could get somewhere with mechatronics. Nice. So I was still a believer. I stopped being a believer maybe late in the
in the years. So you're connecting robots, programming, and what is running through your mind? Like, what will you do? Will you go and work for Toyota or all these places, or what was going through your mind at this point? Or you just wanted to graduate and get your degree and
no, like to be honestly, the graduating thing became in the last year. So I wasn't very much like I wasn't thinking about the future. I was thinking, okay, I've always wanted to do something like this, like program hands, control sensors, create blinds, whatever. Like that's what I was. No, like future, like 2 years to come. No. Just what in front of me. That was going through my mind.
Living in the moment.
Yeah. But I was like, okay, if I could do this now, maybe in the coming days, I could be somewhere very far, That I had that kind of concept in my mind. Like maybe I could, build an industry.
But you're already building an industry.
I mean,
you're sounding like someone who is struggling, but you're not, man. So
I mean, not to the concept I was thinking. It was more on hardware, like face. I really love.
But you still have time, man. So where you have started is not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a fair point. It's a fair point.
Yeah, your age mate, I don't know if they know what they have achieved what you have achieved so far. So you have time to do all these things, and it's great. So in that aspect, you graduate, and do you pass your exams, or do you exceed the expectations?
So basically, in class, I wasn't a very bad student.
Okay, you're just average.
No, I was a top student all the years.
The 3 years.
I was the best student first year, second year, last year, and the best graduating student.
Nice.
4.8 out of 5 the final GPA. So I wasn't very bad in class. I was actually good.
Yeah. Okay, now because you said there's a time you said I want to concentrate.
No. So if you even talk to my teachers, they're like, Kaleb, you always code. How do you
manage?
How do you manage?
Yeah.
But for me, because I don't know, maybe my adventure with the really like physical programming hardware. It made me even like, okay, if it's programming class, I get all the marks. So.
And do you think there are guys who are in school doing the wrong thing? It's not that they're not. It's not that they're not bright or they're not smart. It's just because they're doing what maybe they are not supposed to be doing.
Maybe. Maybe.
Because from what you have just said, is just that you found what you can connect with and do.
Yeah.
That's why you found fun in it. Because I know mechatronics is not that easy.
It's not. But
it's not straightforward as most of the things. Neither is it, even literature for some other people is not that straightforward. You have to connect with it, and you have to be like, this is what I want to do, understand what I want to do with this, and go ahead. So after school, what happens? Do you join our university, or do you just say, you know what, I have enough skills, let me go to DA?
You mean after college?
After college, yeah.
Okay. So after college, during college, I participated in a lot of like coming to DA, exhibiting something and coming. So during college, I begin exploring a bit. Okay, there's GDG, there is something called the Python Tanzania. So I started to have a sense of community.
Yeah.
And I realized, okay, if you want community, go to that.
Yeah.
So that was in my mind, like in my very last day of graduating. So I stayed 1 month at home in Mbea. But I'm like, Mom, if I want to make it, now I'm thinking now in my head. I know, like I'm thinking in my head, like I don't want to be like the best result outcome for me working as a mechatronics engineer is being a repair guy.
Yeah.
Or maybe the best.
Mechanic.
Maybe like not repair per se, but more for maintenance and a bit of like. I found out like in industries, like as a mechanics engineer in industry, because we had this science fair, like this project to go to maybe Coca-Cola or Pepsi. So I don't know if it's quite true, but they don't trust locals to touch sensitive systems. So most of the time, they won't give you that aspect of actually having to innovate and create something.
Yeah.
So you're mostly gonna go into let's add more oil here.
There's a bolt that is loose.
There's a bolt that's loose. Okay, let's press this.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really trigger me. What trigger me is the aspect of creating something. So I saw myself, okay, not really going to that career of taking my CV and going to an interest like, okay, hey, give me this job. So I say I was not gonna apply any work of mechatronics. That was my like into me. Yeah. So even if so I to take to pursue as a developer. He's that, like that is a ecosystem.
Yeah, there is a community.
There's Flutter, there is GDG, and I think there's also jobs because every headquarters is in that. If you want jobs, come to that.
Yeah.
So I'm like my mom. I still 1 month, and like you're staying at home. You're like, okay, if I'm at home, the best could do is be a farmer. Go to farm.
Yeah.
But I know like, hey, I can't farm now. Mama, I don't want to be a burden at home. Let me just go to town and see if I can get opportunities in tech. Yeah. So I stayed only 1 month, and then I came to town. Yeah.
So did you have like family members here or just?
I had a sister, but I only stayed for a week, and then I rented. I went to rent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you come to DA, at least you had come before for the competition and participation on different things.
Yeah,
but now you come to DA and here you are self-reliance. How did that work out? Did you get some side project where you could now pay rent or?
I was very naive.
What happened, man?
So I was very naive.
Yeah.
I remember just I was working on some final year project for some college student from UDOM. Yeah. And it paid me
UDOM is University of Dar es Salaam?
Or University of Dodoma.
Oh, Dodoma, okay.
Yeah, they paid me about 200 KT shilling. And then I'm like, I want to go rent.
Yeah.
And then going fighting houses, and I realized renting is at least you need to have, I think around 300K. Yeah, and I called my dad. I'm like, my dad, please borrow me at least 300K. I need to rent a home. And then I'll also send myself going forward. Yeah, so my very first rent, I rented from my dad. I borrowed from my dad about around 300K, get a rent. And then I have 200K to buy Godoro.
The first mattress.
And then some pasia, and then I had only 20K on remaining to live in Da. That was how I started my journey in Da. Yeah.
And here you are.
Yeah.
So if there's a guy who is still living, with their mom or dad, it's never that hard to take the risk, because otherwise you're gonna always be afraid to jump, right?
I mean, the risks are high.
Yeah.
I didn't know the risk. Yeah. I was very naive again. I thought I could make it. and
what happened?
In early days, I realized, okay, this money cannot stay for 2 days or 3 days, and so I was not reputable as a software developer. Yeah. So I couldn't get jobs. Yeah. I don't have any certification as a developer. I'm just like an enthusiast, So back into college, I was doing some business of mine. Yeah. I was taking component from China. I was ordering on Alibaba, and I'm selling device to my fellow student. Yeah. So that was when I'm coming to Da, I came with a component. Yeah. Maybe I could do this selling of component. Yeah. I had a brand called Quant Electronics. So like selling electronics stuff. Yeah. So my very first 80 days was me selling electronics, going on WhatsApp, going on Canva, putting price.
And how did you know how to order from China?
From China?
Yeah.
I took a risk. I tried once.
Just what online
Yeah,
search?
I tried once with small money.
Yeah.
And then it worked. And then I began ordering in bulk.
Okay.
And then my final year, I went to my dad, and like my dad borrowed me money. I bought around 1M during Corona. I'm like, I'm gonna order now because if people don't order now, if Corona ends, I'll have the component.
Yeah.
And then it actually worked.
Yeah.
So all other sellers during now college have opened after what they call
After
lockdown.
Yeah.
Now college have opened. I was one of the few guys with like the component like from China already here.
Yeah.
So I sold.
What components was that?
Electronics, maybe sensors.
I see.
Microcontrollers.
So even you actually ordered things in line of your
Yeah, mechatronics.
Yeah.
So I was ordering stuff, and I was also building projects for other college students.
Okay.
Okay. Get some money.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're the guy. It's called what? The guy who what they call it? Gun for hire. So if someone is doing a project and things are all working out, Kalebu is there to save the day.
They call me, yeah.
And how much do you used to charge? 200,000 or?
No, 200 is too high, you know. You're talking about university students.
Okay, yeah.
It's about around 100K, you know.
Okay.
It's around there, you know, 100K.
Yeah.
So you buy from me component, and you also
and you build for it.
Yeah. So I get
This is in Dodoma or
in Musti.
In Musti.
In my college.
Okay.
So
That is Mbea.
Mbea.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, let me print posters, get a designer, design me a poster, putting posters, and okay.
You're also a designer, graphic designer.
No, I had to like pay a designer.
Oh, to promote yourself.
To promote the brand. I was creating in college, quant electronics stuff like
But by that time you're not finished college. Or?
I'm not finished.
Oh, okay.
I'm still in college. I'm in like entrepreneurship, like selling stuff. And then now I came to DA. That now I begin doing the same thing because now I'm not. I can't. It's very hard for me to get as a developer job because there's no reputation around me, you know.
Yeah.
So after I managed a bit, and then my very first job I think was around. It was a developer work. It was around 30K shilling.
30,000 shillings.
Yeah, my guy called me like, Kaleb, you need to create a desktop app, and this is the features. Kuna F30, you know.
That's like 150 Kenya shillings.
Yeah.
That is like $1.50.
I'm not $1. No. I don't know. It's one. It was 30K shilling.
Oh, 30,000. Okay.
So it's around maybe $10.
Okay, $15. Okay.
Yeah, $15.
Oh, they're about, yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
It's still not much.
And I was very happy. This guy just didn't know how he helped me because I was almost broke. So I was like.
So this meant life and death for you.
Life doesn't. So I called him in a day and like here done. And the guy he paid me 30K, and then he put the work to the boss, and the boss like, okay, call this guy, maybe you can add some more features. And then I went to the boss, and then we didn't talk about the pricing, about the work. I just do work. And then right after I'm like, how much? And now I'm like, okay, now I got charge money. It get to be 30K no more. Yeah. So I'm going to the boss, and I'm like, okay, give me 500K.
Okay.
And the boss was like, okay, give me some time.
I'll build this for you.
And like, call me like, Kaleb, you sound like too much money. But like, no. Like, boss, you know, there's another client just nearby.
Who was bothering me?
Yeah, it was bothering me. And then I charged them around 300K for a day. I worked here for 4 days. You should pay me 500K. And that was my very first big money to be paid in town.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And now you realize the uko mujini.
Niko mujini. And then now I'm like, okay, dad, here's your 300K. I'm in town now. I can sustain myself.
And here's 50,000 for you, for your trouble.
For your trouble. Yeah.
Ah, that's nice.
Yeah.
And then did you now start getting big projects from that point, or?
Yeah, not a big project, you know, but I studied a bit. Some like I used to be on Upwork. I used to be on LinkedIn.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I never got a job on Upwork by that point. So I had like but on LinkedIn I put myself like machine learning engineer, whatever, too many stuff. And one person he owned a company in logistics. I went on my LinkedIn and then like, okay, DM me like, Kaleb, can you come?
That is in Tanzania or some other place?
In TZ, like, and DM me like, Kaleb, can you come to the office? I want to talk to you. And I'm like, okay, this is it. So I went to the office. And he's like, okay, I want you guys to build a CRM and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So by that time, I only knew Python. So I don't know any of front-end stuff. I tried front-end, it didn't work. Yeah, I just don't know Python and I know back-end.
Yeah.
But the guy wanted us to build like a CRM. Yeah. So...
And how much was he hiring or just per project?
It was per project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I came and I took my other guy who knew how to do front end.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay.
So now you're starting to know guys who are doing what, you have connected with them.
Yeah.
And are you knowing them from the community or?
Some of them from the community, some of them maybe once they reach out to me for a project. Yeah, back when I was in college.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. For instance, this guy who we worked together on the CRM project was just a guy who reached out to me when I was in college. Like, Kaleb, I want this. Now when I come to street. So I remember when I was in college, I ignored them because it's like too complex. But when I came to street, I'm like, okay, give me that. Let me see.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, but and then I called. He was good at front end, and then we we like, okay, can you do this?
Yeah.
Because we all broke by the time, no one is rich. So okay. And then the guy like, how much do you charge? Like, okay, let's sit down now. Okay. Let's put 5 million.
Now you're making real money.
No, like that was like, okay, now let's charge them by this. First of all, we wanted to charge them by hours, but it turned to be very high money and unpredictable pricing.
So
now we're experimenting
like
stuff.
You are scaring them away.
Yeah. Now we begin experimenting now.
Yeah.
We're just messing number out of air and see it and see how they react,
Yeah.
And then they're like 5 million. And the guy like, okay, 5 million, we can do it. Yeah. So that's turned to be another bar on the street. So we worked on that project for like a lot of months.
Yeah.
But it was like 5 months now. We could pay rent and then assure a couple of months survival in town. Yeah. And also build a reputation. Now, once you work on a project, that's where the developer it is. If you work on a project, you're
building your portfolio.
Yeah.
And now you're writing real things, not imaginary.
Not imaginary stuff, yeah.
Now you go ahead. At what point or how many projects did it take for you to, think about, okay, I'm going to start a company, right? And I'm going to build a solution of X, whatever X is, and you tell us about the X factor of your solution.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was quite because I started working in 2020 and I started the company in December 2021.
Yeah. Oh, so just 1 year?
Just 1 year.
You had done all those projects?
Done a lot. Because when I was working on that 5 million project, now I begin exploring open source. Yeah. So that's when you see a lot of open source was me intentionally building them to get a portfolio.
Yeah. Because projects are not coming as fast. But you wanna...
No, not as fast. Because the CRM project is a private project. So people can't really see what you're capable of. So you might lie. You might lie. You say, I work in CRM, but you never work. So I wanted something that could expose me publicly. Say, Kaleb, know something. So then I found like open source to be quite the way. And writing content. So I was writing content and also putting open source. And then open source I begin to get a lot of exposure. People like, okay, Kaleb made PyPesa and stuff like that. Yeah, and then from there you might get 1 gig, 2 gig. Yeah.
Ah, interesting. So 2021 you decide, okay, you know what, I'm starting something.
Yeah.
What castigated that?
At that point, I did a lot of freelancing local in Tanzania. And then I went on Upwork.
Yeah.
I went from Upwork to a remote company, remote company in Italy. And then during the work with the remote company, I quitted work. And then not in a good team. I was very frustrated with working now. Yeah.
Was it a bit toxic?
Yeah, the boss was a bit toxic. And then...
you want to speak a bit about it? Or?
No.
Or you had signed an NDA?
No, but in the end of the day, I was very sick. I had somebody relative they died, and then I went to so I missed 2 days in the work, and the boy was all over hey, why, what do you need?
You're not serious,
yeah. So I'm like, okay, I was very sick. I'm suffering I was
you're not feeling very well.
I was a lot of ulcer, and then so he's like.
He doesn't care about that. He cares about what you do.
I'm just a number, yeah. So that really, I'm like, okay, if it's a number, I'm quitting,
Yeah.
And then I was getting paid 6 million a month.
Okay.
It was 2.9k USD a month. And then I'm like, I'm quitting this work. What I'm gonna do? Yeah, I begin but working there, getting me 6 million, it made me okay. I'm valuable now. I can get paid for 6 million in a month.
Yeah. So
I'm valuable. So what can I do now? To get this 6 million a month if not getting paid,
Yeah.
So a lot of idea. But again, and then like the idea of company came about because after quitting now, the idea of company came even before like working in a remote company, but it wasn't serious. Like, now after quitting, like,
what do I do?
What do I do? I begin hating freelancing, like Upwork. I made a bit of money on Upwork.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, I don't want to do Upwork.
Yeah.
I don't want to do another job. Let me think maybe for company.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know what it takes to build a company. I'm just
exploring.
I'm just a developer.
Yeah.
Thinking now, okay, let me do the most comfortable way for me now. Okay, it's not freelancing. It's not going to another job. Yeah. So even maybe the emotional regulation wasn't that well because I didn't want. Don't talk about job again. Don't talk about freelancing. Yeah. So that's how like now. Okay, let me start a company. And then I remember when I was in college, I began exploring around AI stuff. And then I wanted, okay, the company should be around AI, So an AI company, something like that.
Oh, yeah. So you're already fascinated with AI and what it can do. But how do you come about the solution that you offer? Because the portfolio of solution that you offer, even I think if you started in 2021, not most people had started now seeing the potential in boards, in translation, things that actually right now most companies are looking at.
So it wasn't very straight. Yeah. So in the beginning, like, okay, I'll offer an AI solution, and if you want anything on AI, just do it. Very general.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
more if-else statements.
And then it's okay, we gotta be specific, and then. So when I was in college, I did something called Ask Iris. So Ask Iris was something that you could text on SMS and they could reply you back. So it was like going to using Wikipedia API, fetching me feedback. So that was my very first kind of chatbot thing to build. I was in college. So and then that idea it was held somewhere in my brain. And my brain like, okay, what are you wondering? Yeah, it is. I am here. This is do chatbot. Yeah. And then okay, let's do chatbot. Yeah. So it wasn't very like specific. Okay, let's think whatever. My previous exposure, I began to be really fascinated with sports, and it all traces back to my first inspiration of AI. It was a movie, Ex Machina, and then it's kind of like some sort of a humanoid robot that can talk to. So that kind of software that can talk to you and reply back sounded very interesting to me. And then doing a project around it, and then coming to street is still the idea is still somewhere in your brain. Okay, you gotta be chatbot, something like that. Yeah. And then now that's how it is. And then I'm going forward. There's a lot of influence. Like there's not like one influence that okay, do chatbot. So I remember one of the inspiration around one point was when I was doing open source. I was exploring around NLP in African languages. I went to NLTK is one of the popular packaging in NLP, Python, and I'm looking around. Okay, how do I do in Swahili? And I found okay, there's no support. It's empty. Not even stop words. I'm like, okay, shit, it can be real. So I opened an issue. Okay, let me contribute something to this. But that triggered me to know like, okay, there's a huge gap in NLP tools for African languages. Because Tanzania Swahili is a huge language, like it's 100 million speaker, but not
the
national
language
in 100 million speaker in East Africa. But where there's no tools, so I begin to see like a huge gap around this area. And I'm like, okay, I speak Swahili. I'm a developer, and I know a bit of AI. Why not me try to do something around this area? And then that really matched with the chatbot idea, because to be chatbot, you need to be good at NLP in Swahili, in African languages, and then so it was like, okay. Different idea coming each other and recognizing, okay, I know you, I know you, and then now let's do something together,
And you started this all alone, and then over time you got some partners?
It wasn't all alone. It was like 3 people in the beginning, and then
from day zero.
And then I came to one.
Oh, the other guys quit along the way, or
a lot happened.
So,
but at the end of the day, I remained alone. And then
Now, is it the time that you are rebuilding the team, or you started rebuilding the team now after these guys left the company?
There was no team. The only team of these 3 guys, or like other 3. But I won't talk much on the details. I'll repeat them the details. But what happened basically is two other guys end up leaving the company, you know.
But not in a bad way.
Not, I mean,
or people decided to.
I mean, I can tell. But eventually, for me, it was very hard because I already burned my bridges, you know, like I left to work.
Okay.
Yeah, you know.
So this was it for you.
This was it for me.
But these other guys had option to go and get employed, which you are not happy with because you know.
Not employed per se because it was just more of commitment because. For me, I got to commit 100% to this because this is it.
This is it. There's nothing else.
There's nothing else.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna make it or maybe go back again to
Mbea.
to looking for a job, you know.
Yeah.
So it ended up. Then after they left, and then I'm like, okay. One of my very few people to hire was okay. Let me get a marketer. So then I get okay. Open an Instagram account, open a Twitter, Facebook. Neurotech. Yeah, and then. Such marketing, AI solution, conversational AI, no product.
Okay. So just marketing to see how the market reacts to this.
Yeah, how market says, and then
Oh, you're really smart.
No, I wasn't. I was just doing
If you're doing marketing to test the market about something that actually, because by then I don't think AI was really that crazy, man. And you see 2 years down the line, you have already, covered ground. It was really smart, as much as it doesn't look like it.
Not that biased. Still.
And then did people start now inquiring or asking you, what is this? How long did it take?
It took quite a while.
A whole year, 6 months, 3 months?
Maybe something like 6 months. So 6 months, that's why I got my first project as a company. So
but there's nothing exists, just marketing.
So there was marketing, and then around 3 months, I began getting a developer. Maybe has been now designing the system. So the very first edition of Sarufi never shipped to live.
So there was a first version.
There was a homepage. The dashboard was always in development.
But you believe this thing will work. And these 6 months, how are you surviving? How are you paying this marketer?
So remember, when I was writing content. So
you got paid for that.
It took me like 6 months to get my first job as a writer. So I got approached by a company like Rogue Rocket. Like, okay, we're gonna pay you $350 per article. I'm like, dude, this is like inane. This is something like a salary, my guy. So
in Tanzania.
In Tanzania, So I begin, and then I then go to draft.dev. They pay you $320 per article. So it was quite good. So for me, like beginning, okay, using this money and my saved money from salary working to kind of finance developer, because I'm not a front end. So I'm get somebody to design the UI and then get a developer to design some few pages. First of all, landing page. Get a landing page live, hype on Twitter, like building in public. Sort of coming in the next week. And then never shipping for up to 6 months. Never, nothing's functional.
Wow, that's kind of interesting, because if I think about it, already I see that you believed so much in this idea to an extent that you believe this is gonna work after all. So after 6 months, you get your first customer. Are they willing to pay upfront, or are they willing to pay after they see the project?
The first client was not a chatbot guy. So it was not a chatbot project. It was more of like AI, B2B AI consultation. So I remember going there was a Data Tamasha, which another one is happening this year. The last 2 years at Tamasha. So I went there, and then I found someone speaking about AI. I'm like, that I'm gonna approach the guy and pitch myself. And then I'm like, okay, I'm the best. If you want AI solution, you go no further.
This is the guy.
The guy.
This is your guy. Huh?
And he's like, okay, you see that lady? Go talk to her, and then if she
so
thinks
the marketer was a lady.
No. So I approached the guy who is like the head of the company who was doing they also offering AI solution. So I was pitching if they could give me like a gig, maybe a subcontract to work on. And then he's like, okay, you see that lady, the tech person now from the company. I talked to that Mzungu, and then you're gonna lead you out to you're gonna tell if you're good or not. And back then I had a lot of open source like Pi Swahili. I created like my own language in Swahili, but it's not not in language per se, but if someone look at it like, okay, this guy built a language, Swahili, and this guy did PyPesa, so they look at my portfolio on open source and like, okay, he's quite good, we can give him a job. So he's like, okay, there's a project coming up, it was December, coming up in January, come to our office and then give you a job. So I went on January and then, okay, here's a job. So I didn't know, but I need to take money up front or not. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do it and I'm going to charge per day. Yeah, so I remember on Upwork I used to charge $30 per hour. Yeah, so and then this client, and then I begin charging them on the same rate. Yeah, so it quite paid. It quite sustained me, I think, for the whole last year, even in this year. Okay. That client. Okay. Around 2022, it sustained me. I think the whole last year it was one main client. And that client I got at the data tamasha. Okay. Okay.
So here is a community paying back over time, right?
Yeah, it's sold now. Now it's not now. Okay, it's like, okay. So I didn't before getting a job like as a company, I didn't have the registration done. So the company,
so it was just a briefcase company.
Yeah, and the company like, okay, you need to get give me your company certification, get a contract.
TRA pin.
Then I'll go register and stuff like that. So this was my very experience there of my very first experience as a company. Okay, now getting a job. And learning about how charging, how much do you charge? And also maybe get some more person in the team, because now if you get paid as a company, it's a bit some money, and then get a front end.
Do you have an accountant? Do you have a dev there?
No, not an accountant, my guy.
Accountant, not yet.
Not yet. So I got it's very odd. I got a dev advocate early. Okay. Yeah, I opened a blog ghost, and I began writing blogs on AI.
As an advocate,
the advocate begin writing content. So in content, I market it for developers. Like, trying to build myself like a reputation before product is out yet. Building some authority and reputation around AI. So that was I began doing. So one of my very first, the marketer, and then the advocate. The front end was not very hired; it was more like gigs. And then I got some front end to join in a team.
The team, okay. And you're paying them using the project and the gigs that you're doing on the side.
You're not on the side now, through this. The company, the company contract from. And does the rates changed? Did they change when you registered the company, or? No, they didn't. But it's just like, okay, it was enough, to sustain. It's not that enough because
Okay. So now here you have a company. At least it's registered. You have some employees.
Correct.
You're paying them, whatever the amount. Was this time now you started developing Sarufi seriously, or?
So I was talking. The aim of the front end now is not to consult, is to build Sarufi. Okay. So the Sarufi began earlier on, but another developer left. So the new developer came, keep on building this new Sarufi. So it was very odd because we're building the UI with no architecture in mind. It's just, okay, let's do this. And then we're thinking we're building the ship on the way, and then we don't know what we are doing. We don't have like a big picture in mind of what we are building. So that's how we started building Sarufi. It was, okay, gotta do this, intent here. So and then the front end kept building the Sarufi, the first version of Sarufi. But it never turned the light of the day for the Sarufi.
So the version, which version do you have right now?
I mean, it's other version. So
the original version, or?
No, the original version never. So as I said, initially we didn't know what we were doing.
It was a try and error.
No, it's a try and error. And also, if you tell me, Kaleb, take here a pen, draw me what is it you're building here, the whole architecture, I wouldn't have done it. It was more like, okay, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna do it. So let's have a good UI. Look at other platform. Okay, people have this dashboard. Also have this, and if you do it, you're gonna post on Twitter, building in public.
No. So there are two versions that never saw the light of the day. The first initial version.
I mean, the first version continued to be developed again.
But by a new dev, or
by new dev. Still building it, and sharing in Twitter, building in public.
Building in public. That's a tagline nowadays. Build in public. And then from that now, is it like, what is this building in public? But because I've seen a couple of devs nowadays saying, I'm a believer of building in public.
So it's like maybe you can get early users early because people are saying, okay, this guy, day one, there was only CSS on the first page. Now the whole platform, like.
But does it work like that? Or building hype?
It's building hype, So when you purchase it done, you have some few users already,
Yeah.
Not like, okay, here is a surprise. So I was a believer first, but it haunted me. It haunted me because I remember in very January, I'm like, okay, almost there. And then it's June, there's nothing out there.
Yeah.
So some people give me calling me, Kaleb, are you the creator of Sarufi? Like, okay, I logged in.
The log page is not working.
Something's not working. Yet. So people like now, like kind of like, okay, some people mocking, okay, like what you guys are building,
You have given me another perspective of Sarufi that I didn't know.
Yeah, okay.
Like, it seems like you build out of pressure that these actually has to be real. These actually has to be working.
Yeah, but
otherwise your reputation is online here.
But that thing never shipped. So the other Sarufi that came to public, it was not under pressure.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I'm okay now.
How did you discontinue the one that never shipped?
I mean, it happened. The front-end developer left, and then, I mean, it reached a point now there was no clarity now. Whatever I'm building, okay, and then, I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm building. Then it reached a point where now I came to realization, okay, what am I doing? I have no idea yet to know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I instead of starting from front end, we need to start from a back end. Let's build the framework of the chatbot itself, how it's going to work. Yeah. Maybe the flow, let's design the flow, let's design everything first, and then we can have a front end as a body to embody that the architecture of the board. So and then okay, let's stop this. Let's start building the CLI app. So. And then it became like that. I remember doing the very first version of Sarufi, I think in a day. Just a day. Yeah. Just imagine how much time I saved. It took 6 months to push a platform, but never shipped. Yeah. But the very first version, which is an MVP, that could be used in a day. Yeah. It had no UI.
So the hard lesson that you learned from this experience that you cannot build a product from the marketing perspective before having the product itself.
Yeah.
It's hard and it's painful and it's costly.
And then you try to do every feature.
Yeah.
You try to build the best framework of it.
And is it building or just talking about it? Because it sounds like if it's not working, there's nothing up here.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds productive because you're gonna build some pages and then you're gonna show on Twitter. Okay, hit the chat, but here's the button. You can click it. It sounds productive, but it's not.
Yeah.
And then what I realized, okay, you could build the very simplest vision. If you're building something, think out what is the simplest representation of what you're building.
Yeah. And then let people get the feedback.
Build that first.
Yeah.
Top of what is new feature kumi, any complex feature, because you need that clarity first. What is it am I building? And then those features can come later. Yeah. So we begin with that now. I begin building the very first version of Sarufi. Yeah. No UI.
Yeah.
Just a CLI.
Yeah.
And the docs like Open API docs. Open API docs like YAML, like okay, you have a post you can click, and then I built the SDK, and then it was like that sharing in public. Sarufi, no, I didn't share in public basically.
Which year is this year or last year?
Last year.
Okay.
Last year around August.
Okay.
And so we did the very first version of Sarufi, but they never shared in public. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, how do we put this to public? I put it private. I'm inviting people. Okay, come to preview in private. Yeah. This is my invention.
Yeah.
But and then I'm like, okay, maybe now from that first vision, we've been building demos now, trying to pitch to companies. Let's go to Voda and pitch this demo. We have the engine of Sarufi now. Yeah. Okay, we can now sell it to companies and then use our engine. Yeah. But we never sold anything, And so I'm like, maybe let's just open source this. Let's just make it not open source, but make it open for anyone to use it. Yeah. Because we are afraid because there's a company offering chatbot services. And you're like, okay, ours got API. If you give them API, they can
play around with it.
Play around and then figure it out the way our invention.
Yeah.
But eventually, because there was no any traction,
You gave up.
keeping it private, you know, like keeping
It was
it
not
private.
helping, yeah.
It was not helping, you know. There's no growth. There was no like. It wasn't like okay, using it for marketing, like the demo to. So what we end up making it API public and endpoint public, and allowing people to try it out. Okay, here's Sarufi. Yeah, and then an intern came, a front-end intern. He helped us build the first version of Playground. So Playground came before Dashboard. So Playground was like, okay, if you develop a lot using CLI and YAML, was using YAML or JSON as a flow control, you can test it on Playground. Yeah. So no Dashboard yet, but that was Playground yet. Yeah, very simple. So beginning marketing it, Sarufi launch, launching on WhatsApp and Twitter.
Was it big? Did you launch it or just?
No, it was not big. You know, it's just sharing hyping on Twitter. Yeah. Like back in the now, I've been experimenting viral Twitter, tweeting like a lot. Yeah. Most of the people were trying the bot we made as a sample demo, but the traction in development wasn't very good because again, people need to now understand the flow. Use YAML to build the flow, and then it was not that. There was some people trying out but we saw that the user XP of using YAML and JSON was not that it helped. Like it wasn't good to help people to build chatbots, stuff like that. So but we didn't have the money now to finance build the dashboard. Build the dashboard first for people to easily build now bots. So because it's a CLI, marketing we were doing a bit, but no sponsor, just organic. So marketing is a fair point also. No money to do marketing and no money to finance dashboard development. So even the UI you're seeing now, it wasn't easy.
So when did you get your first serious client after this version?
Serious client? It was around I think during Sarah Sparks, maybe around November.
So you got them through Sarah Sparks. Sarah Sparks. Which is also a community engagement.
It is a conference. It's a tech conference in TZ, one of the biggest in TZ. So it's combined all companies, stakeholders in the tech ecosystem. Foreigners, investors. So one of the guy, I once interned in his company. I went there and like, okay, I'm not doing a chatbot. So
it just happened that
like, okay, come to my office. And then I went to the office and he's like, okay. So this was a big client, but I didn't get the money. Hear me out. I won't mention the company name for the sake of okay. But it's a very big company, you know, like B company. He's like, okay, how much do you charge? Okay, this is a big company. It's a big company. Let's charge them 15K USD. And then we go there. I'm like, okay, we're gonna develop you a bot for WhatsApp for 15K USD, which is around 30 million. You know, like. And then he was like, oh, you know, Kaleb, I get it's it's fair, but you know this is too high. We have another vendor is offering us for 5K, and you're like, oh, you know, 5K is 12 million. We can also do for this, And so we accepted the offer. The offer. Now this, remember from before that job, most of the work was not chatbot. It was B2B data consultation. It was more like on big data and not just AI stuff, but not chatbots. So this was one of the very first client ambao we get who want a chatbot, and we are going to use our chatbot platform to deploy for them. Apple hatuna dashboard. We have no dashboard, so we want to use YAML and stuff to work for them. And then the client said, okay, Kaleb, how would I change this stuff in a bot if I want to change this word? I need a dashboard. And I'm like, okay. I knew a couple of my friends, who were very good at UI. Okay, and they're also opening their own company. And they like once they approached me, Kalebu, if you have a gigs, just let us know. Let us know, whatever. And then I didn't have the money, but I know, okay, if I'm gonna pay 10 million, I can just outsource this UI. So I gave my friend a UI, implement me this UI. I needed this for this client project. But something happened in the middle of the project. Something happened, and then the boss was out of I don't know, but the boss was kind of something happened which the project froze.
So you didn't get paid.
We had 2 pending invoices.
Okay.
And then remember I had another team to do the UI.
Yeah.
Not paid. We're not paid. The team is not paid. And then all our expectation is okay, this December gonna be awesome now.
Yeah.
Big money.
Coming in. Yeah.
Coming in.
And then it's not coming through.
Coming in. Yeah.
Did people give up on you or?
One give up. Yeah, I remember losing one of my very key person.
Yeah.
Right, because after then we went holiday, and then after then I'm coming. I'm just finishing my holiday. I'm receiving a resignation letter. Email. Yeah, like Kaleb,
It's crazy, man.
It's crazy, man.
My only did not turn out really well because it never came through.
Yeah, because you're struggling with money. Someone is not paid for months, and they need to pay rent.
They have responsibilities.
You can understand, okay, Kaleb, you got to find money.
Yeah. So did you get paid finally or?
I wasn't. But something good happened out of it.
Okay.
The UI that we were doing for a client turned out to be the main sort of dashboard you're seeing now.
So this project flopped.
So project dropped, but I'm like, okay, what if we could make this dashboard we're building for a client to edit the flow? Could be our own dashboard now for people to
do their thing.
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, I begin approaching the team. Okay, can you guys add this few more features? Can you add this sign up page now? Because we're building it for one client, there was no need for sign up, so crazy stuff. So we begin like, okay, can we make it in a way that people could sign up? Yeah.
And now we have Sarufi version.
Yeah, so Sarufi version 1 it comes with a lot of blessing, Yeah, so right then it was tough because remember my big client is only one, the one I got from the Tamasha, because they're also doing consultation for another company. So it became the main subcontractor on many of the projects, but they vary. Sometimes they come, sometimes they don't come. So you're depending on one big client to do all your financing. Yeah. So and what I'm gonna say.
Did you get more clients or at this point just now you perfect the dashboard?
It was more like finding other work apart from chatbot by the company to work on so that we can operate.
Can maintain,
So getting other client not big per se, but I didn't want to go much on consultation. I wanted more on the product. So it was more finding whatever can get gigs around that you can help sustain. At some point it was so hard, I got back on Upwork. On a day it was so hard, my rent was due, and then I'm like,
I need some gigs.
I need some gigs. But then I begin doing whatever, getting some even consultation work, maybe building AI work for some other people to get some money to pay the team that was doing the dashboard now, so that we can launch dashboard as a product.
Okay.
This idea was not natural. It was not planned. It was accident of us not getting paid from the client and the work being done. Like, okay, we gotta do something because you need to pay these people. They already did the work. True,
and they need to, they have responsibilities.
So after the launch, it went well. And something good out of the launch, we got our first angel investor.
Oh, nice.
So after the launch of the Sarufi dashboard, and then so my launch happened on WhatsApp.
Okay.
First day, no Twitter, only WhatsApp. So I'm in a lot of developer groups. All I did was beginning
spamming
people.
Here's a product.
Can you share on the WhatsApp? Can you share on the WhatsApp? Can you share on the WhatsApp?
And it paid off.
There's some few users, and one of the person who shared on WhatsApp. One of his contact person was an angel investor.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, okay, link me to the guy. And then I remember we had like a 30 minutes call with the guy. Like, okay, come to Cape Town. Here's a ticket.
Oh, nice.
Then all I know, I'm in Cape Town 1 week, and then after 1 week, no pitching.
Okay.
Just talk and what do you do? We're gonna give you a community. We're gonna tell people how to use a dashboard to be bought. And then after, I want to be your first investor. Here's the teams. Here's the first months of investment. So right now, that's when at least
you are stable enough to build.
Stable enough, and that's when I would say, okay, let's focus on the product.
Because now you're not worried about the salary,
rent,
maintenance, and
people, or getting gigs out of work to work on the product. So that will remove all the distraction and the worrisome, because the growth of the project wasn't very much good in the first year because it was a lot of distraction. To work on a project is an expense. that and also there was no clarity.
Yeah.
So right now we had a bit of clarity of what we want. The flow, the dashboard was very connecting. The team did a good, nice work on the dashboard.
Yeah.
So now working on a Sarufa that we're seeing
serious
now.
Project. Yeah.
Building communities and to see that it is now. So it was not a straight story.
No, I mean, there's something exciting about your journey, Kalebu. And one of those things that you have always believed in the community by participating in it, by always coming back and giving value to it, even believing that if you share with your community, they're going to actually use your product and ideally you get an investor in it. So for you, community is like everything.
Yeah, it's everything. Like,
and this, actually I met you through a community.
Correct.
Yeah. And one thing that made me notice is that even after we left, I saw you engaging the guys, trying to help, trying to see what you can do. What is that drive? Why is that drive for you?
I mean, I think my early days, coming out of Mbea, I'm a lonely wolf there. I only have a few friends, less exposure. Coming down to that and then seeing all these communities, and that's where like I saw the spirit of community. Going to Flutter for food. But then
so the first get of any community is food.
It's food. You're broke and you don't have money to buy food. There's good food at communities event, free food. You're leading Flutter, so I really like the community. Getting there, knowing other people doing different stuff. Even my first AI like kind of mentor was through community. I remember going to Buni. Buni is very place for me.
Right?
Because that's where most of my stuff began from maybe Flask, whatever, AI, whatever, all the stuff came from Buni. Because I'm going there, I'm like, okay, I love AI. I'm looking for guys who do AI here. And I'm like, okay, you see some guy there? Go talk to him.
And you find he's doing AI.
And you talk to him, like, okay, he's doing JavaScript and talking to something like Jarvis, like, hey, play this music using voice. And the AI is listening. It's all fascinating, and it's also community. And you come, you see all this GDG. So I was actually a believer of communities. And then through community, that's where I met my tribe, because my tribe was not in college is mostly people mechatronics stuff. So right through community, that's why I find myself at peace, because I like meeting new people who are actually building different stuff, learning from them.
So fast forward, there's this project that you are coming to do here in Dar with Mozilla. And it actually touches on your vision and how what castigated you to start building a Swahili, which is Sarufi app and chatbot, to just help people who are unlikely reachable because of language barrier, and how they can interact with the different aspect of technology through voice, right? It's called Mozilla Connected Voice, right? And again, you volunteered to become a trainer, right? Please speak a bit about it and why it's important that people should come on Friday, Saturday, join the competition. But of course, I'll add a few details on that.
Okay. So as I spoke previously, if you come to an NLP space as a developer, the tools for African languages are very non-existent. And then you don't expect a miracle or somebody to come and say, hey, here are the tools. So I think as African, we have responsibility. To build these tools.
True.
And then I think that's what Mozilla have been doing like an amazing work. So Mozilla have been like correcting voices on local language like Swahili, Luganda, and stuff like that. To help now give developer ability to use this data to create AI models out of it. And in this week hackathon is very interesting because we're going to be touching Swahili. So the hackathon is about now, okay, how can we build something for ourselves, using like data collected from our locals, because it was using volunteers, community gathering. I happened to participate one of the voice contribution run by Catherine. Mozilla, because I was there, I wasn't just looking at people doing Mozilla and common voice. So I think this week is a chance for you now to come and be a part now, not on contributing, but on building now AI that can convert speech into text. So I think it's quite interesting, and then it's quite also it's good because first of all you're building yourself like a career in AI. Second is impactful because you're doing something for local, you're doing something for Swahili, so it's something that is I think you should be proud of if you come and attend and build something that is helping us put our local language on a map and in a space where like 100 years to come, as I always say this, Gen Z maybe won't know analog life. Everything will be digital, you know, all these voices. But if we don't find a way for us to represent these languages in the digital space, our cultures will be like, you know, not as we know it.
All over,
will not be as we know it. It will be a rust. So we need to put these languages in a digital space. And as a developer now, it's your chance now to do one of this impactful work of building these models around Swahili. And then so it's a competition. There's money, and then and then but at the same time you don't have to be like a developer, like do a voice before, because even if you like have interest, we're going to be using some of the tools that you can easily catch up after a couple of training. So I think as long as you're a developer, you feel free to come and
check them out.
I mean it's a must attend. So because it's really happening, you know. It's really happening.
And there's good food.
There's good food.
For those who, they call themselves Team Food, Team Chakula.
But it's really happening. It's really happening. Something like this is
true.
It's very.
You said it happened here last year, right?
Like, no. I mean, doing something like creating voice, like just more on contribution. So most of the previous event, Mozilla event, I've been participating is more now let's contribute the voice. And this voice, some AI people are gonna be using to.
Now it's
create.
here.
Now it's here. Now it's local
nice.
here. Now people have a chance to.
Okay. No, I mean, we have a top price of $1,000, second price at around $500, and then that price $2,000. And as I keep insisting, but it's not about the money, because if you ask me, that's, pocket change, but it's in what you build. It's in the solution itself. And if you're listening, or if you ever hear this, and there's hackathon happening and you're an engineer, what is solved? Not just a beginner you're trying to learn, but someone who is just castigated by building solutions. Always participate. And one thing I've seen consistently about hackathon is that sometimes when you collaborate with other people, you realize, maybe I didn't know this, maybe I've learned this, maybe I can build using this best practice, and so on and so forth. And over time, those people become really, really good at what they do and grow. So everyone listening, please, you're welcome. Come, let's build. And there are so many other opportunities, underlying opportunities on this hackathon that I'm going to announce on that, because also Africa's Talking, we run monthly hackathons, and this is going to get exciting, especially in 2024, because there are a couple of projects that we are launching around that line. Come, let's have a good day. We'll be here for the next 2 weeks, and it's gonna be fun, man. We brought some of the best engineers in the world to teach you, how to deal with data. And to come I think Kalebu had an exclusive meeting with some of these engineers in Nairobi at our Africa Talking Summit, but they're here in town, so don't miss out. Something else really important that I would like to talk about is how we view Africa. And I think you have touched on it. Like, what solutions can we create that we own? Because, guys, no one is going to come here and create your solution. And you have seen it again and again. So there's an opportunity for our bright mind to come and see what do we build. Even the guys in the industry already. Because sometimes we might build and have 2-3 customers and think we have made it. But imagine solutions that we use across the globe. That's the level that we need to be thinking about. And that's why actually I do what I do, because that actually bothers me a lot, thinking of the way we can change Africa in our lifetime and beyond. I don't know what's your parting shot, or what should people look out for in this, hackathon. And even the Tanzania tech ecosystem, because since I was here last year, it's amazing, man. I see a lot of things happening. You guys won TADAC hackathon, which is a global hackathon through Africa's Talking hackathon. And that's also some money coming in the ecosystem there. I've seen some of your engineers get good jobs around and even abroad. So what's popping, man?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's getting quite vibrant now.
Yeah.
There's some moment back in before Corona.
Yeah.
The community was very vibrant.
Yeah.
And then after Corona, it kind of slipped.
Yeah.
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 And then right now,
It's coming back.
Yeah, 80 community, this community pop-up MI or whatever AI.
Yeah.
Community are kind of popping up.
Yeah.
And during the third hack,
Yeah.
there were like 4 events in the same
Happening,
day.
yeah.
In the same day.
Yeah.
So that's quite interesting because it's showing like the community is kind of growing and people
Yeah.
are getting really interested in tech. And I think for all those people, need people who are interested in tech,
Yeah.
I think this one is a must attend because AI is a blockchain of the if you like okay. Last year was like blockchain.
Yeah.
It was Bitcoin. This year is AI. And one of the interesting things we could be doing is doing something around voice.
Yeah.
Something not people touch.
Yeah.
It is something it's quite easier to do around text chatbot.
Yeah.
But doing on voice is another level.
It's crazy,
And
man. Because imagine people who don't know how to write, they can speak, right?
Yeah.
And I hear people speaking good Swahili in that is actually before this podcast, just immediately before this podcast, I was telling Kalebu and another and our country manager that spoken Swahili and written Swahili are two different things, but you see everyone can speak and because if you hear something, you can actually comprehend and speak it. And actually that's most what people are good in, right? So it's a game changer if you ask me. And
it is.
Also something else to mention is that Africa's Talking offers voice API. And this is from telcos. And imagine if you combine Mozilla Voice Connect plus connected voices, plus now the Africa's Talking voice API. It's gonna be crazy.
Crazy
man.
that
You're
calling an AI and like, oh hi,
Yeah.
and then it's gonna,
Yeah. Call center is gonna change. It's gonna be in your here there are like 200,000 languages, right? Different dialects in Tanzania. 200 dialects. Like besides Swahili, there are so many other languages.
I don't know the number.
Yeah. It's many of them. Yeah. Because I assume if there are 200 tribes, there must be like 200.
Around 100 type, I think.
100, okay, 100. That's a lot. Because in Kenya it's like 42.
Yeah.
In some other places you find, there's many. So Africa is endowed with different cultures, different dialects. And I think with Mozilla, why we're interested working with them and collaborating on this project is the fact that this actually touches on every African, right? So it's really exciting, guys. Come, let's build together. Let's start this journey, and it's running between this Friday until December 3rd, or around there. So come and learn and be with us. See how things are built, train your models, and win. There are two prices, by the way. There's Hackathon 1 and Hackathon 2. So if you win Hackathon 1 as the top price and Hackathon 2 top price, that's $2,000.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, man. And Christmas is coming, you know. Something else worth mentioning is that please join the community. So you can find the community at community.africastalking.com community.delirium.com/africastalking. You'll find that event as the second published event. Join, register, get your ticket, be ready, and join us. So, Kalebu, give us a parting shot, man. Like, what do you want guys to remember you for? Before we record another podcast, not forever, man. You're too young,
I mean, just show up, you know. Just show up. I think. I think it's quite interesting because doing this on Swahili, it shows the possibility of going to all the other dialect of languages.
True,
it's because if we can do this for one language, we can replicate across other language, and it gives really hope of putting our language on a map, our culture, and it's quite interesting because I think the quite of everyone can speak is quite true because not everybody can write, not everybody is literate. So all these people sometimes are excluded from the system we built.
True.
You tell them, okay, click there, and then you're gonna go navigation, and then they can't read. But if somebody can call and talk to an AI, and you are one person who is going to now enable that kind of possibility, I think it's quite interesting. And then you gotta show up, you know.
It's a game changer. So I normally believe in two things. One, is that where people gather, always there's a solution. And two is that in that solution, actually, you need people to use it. So it's a give and take. So anyone who really want to win this, think about that solution that actually impacts your village. Not even in Da, Da, it's a bit mixed up with everything. But in your village, at least maybe my dad or my uncle or whoever want to top up. How is that experience? How can I change that experience? Also think about maybe, when they go to buy something, how is that experience? Or when they want to call customer care at Vodacom or which other telco do you have here? Tigo. Or Haltel, right? How is that experience? And with that now, you can be able to solve for the people. So without further ado, this was Africa's Talking Retold Podcasts in collaboration with Impact Masters. And our guest. And our guest was one and only Kalebu Jordan. Until next time, it's yours, Michael Kimadi, or MK if you want.